Wow, really?
Welcome to another episode of the Dollop. It's weird when a dog jumps on you at the start of the podcast.
It's normal for me.
You guys have it.
We have a good relationship. Don't be jealous.
Good is
We have a great relationship.
sexual.
Whoa!
People enjoyed the Hugh Glass story.
How could they not?
I keep getting tickle updates from different tickling. There's a tickler loose in Boston who's tickling people while he breaks into people's houses and he tickles them while they sleep.
Jesus, so many better things to do once in.
The guy who the tickling thing all traced back to,
Yeah, the
D'Amato,
weird, right?
is now suing the journalist,
The bisexual journalist, or homo journalist, whatever he calls him. Yeah.
And he's suing him, and he sued him for also putting up that gross photo, that weird, creepy photograph that we used that I showed you. So I removed that from our site just in case. I just didn't want to. I just didn't want to deal with any weird lawsuit. Yeah, even though he doesn't. That's the picture the FBI put out when they arrested him.
Yeah.
So he doesn't. But I also don't want to deal with. Well, I got to hire a lawyer.
Good in it. I don't know what his problem is. It's a good looking picture. That's a headshot.
I should send that as my headshot.
That should be your headshot. Yeah. We really. I mean, it's not too late. We really should do the shirtless pic soon.
Oh fuck yeah!
I'll maybe do it next week and give it to you, and then I'll let you.
We have to do that.
Have at it.
I
can wear a sign that says "Not at all gay."
And I know a guy. Ash is a guy. He used to be on a radio station down there in Australia, and he lives here mostly now. And he was one of the tickle guys. So maybe at some point we could have Ash on and talk to him.
Yes.
Yeah. And, all right. Oh yeah, I already told you that last week, didn't I? Did I do that on mic?
Nah. I don't think you said we'd have him on. So there's new information.
Yep.
It's a new bit.
So this week, did you see my post about what this one's about?
No.
The greatest police chase in U.S. history.
Okay.
Do you have any idea what that might be?
No.
You don't?
No. The greatest police... I mean, well, okay. Two come to mind.
Okay.
But I know it's not going to be OJ.
Okay, why do you know that?
Because you'd say it's the OJ police chase. That's what we're going to talk about.
The whole murdering two people is not all that funny.
It's a little funny. Or there was the guy in San Diego who stole the tank.
Okay.
Is that who we're talking about?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So I was like, what goes in? Like I saw a little clip of it and I was like, okay, fuck. Why did that guy? Like, what goes into a guy taking a tank?
Well, because
a guy just doesn't pull up and go, you know what? I'm going to take a tank.
You know what? I'm going to steal a bike. No, fuck it. I'm going to get a tank.
So there's always something shit had to be building to a tank seizure.
Yeah.
You don't just grab a tank.
You're climbing to tank meltdown.
I know, it's so funny. I thought I would be clever by not telling people, but everyone, as soon as I said car chase, the tank.
But I don't really know.
I remember it live.
See, I just remember it vaguely. I don't remember any backstory.
It was so fucking crazy to watch a guy just driving.
You weren't here when that.
Was I in college? No, 95. So I was doing comedy up in San Francisco.
Okay.
So, but it was on TV.
Yeah.
Because it was like 6 o'clock. So that's when you're a comedian.
It was live on TV?
Well, yeah, they cut in and showed it live with the helicopters and all that. Jesus. Or just the cars, showing it as the tank went by. But I remember watching just this tank just destroying shit. And I remember them taking the guy out of the tank. Like, I remember the whole thing. Like, it's very vivid because it was a guy in a tank destroying a city.
Yeah.
Okay. And everybody seems to know about it because we went through a period in America where those craziest drives, biggest accidents,
wildest chases of all time.
Yeah, those things were huge for a while.
Yeah.
And then I guess we got tired. They're not still on, right? I haven't seen them.
It might have been when a man stole a tank that we were like, are we fueling the fire of this? Who's got the craziest thing? Jesus Christ, the man is a tank?
Well, another guy in Colorado outfitted a bulldozer and went on a bulldozer run, but did it up like at the end of Animal House. Like, he tricked out a bulldozer and went for a fucking run.
Where you going, hon? Garage. Again, why?
D-Day's getting in the dozer. What?
Shut up.
Your name's Larry.
My name is Dee Dee.
All All right, so Sean Nelson is the tank guy.
Admiral Nelson.
Born August 21st, 1959. So he's on the cusp of Virgo and Leo.
Wow. What does that mean about him, Dave?
I don't know. I don't even know if he is on the cusp, but it sounds great. He grew up in Claremont, which is north San Diego. And he went to after. So his dad was in the military, and San Diego is like
seeing the seeds.
People who don't know, San Diego is a huge military town.
Yes, there's what's the big one?
What's the big one?
The big base.
U.S. Army.
Army. That's the one. The Army. Those guys. The name's tricky.
I don't even know what the big bit. But my
Pendleton. That's it.
Pendleton. Yeah. So he signs up for the military.
Okay.
Goes to Fort Knox, Kentucky, and trains as a tank crew member.
Oh boy!
So he's tank knowledgeable.
Yes.
He was in the Army from 78 to 80, which is a brief stint.
Just on the cusp of cancer.
Usually, don't you have to go? Usually, I think if you're in the Army, you got to go more than 2.
Isn't the whole thing that they just fuck you?
I don't think it's a 2 and out situation.
Yeah, you're like, all right, boys, I'm not signing up again. I didn't like it.
So he was part of a tank battalion stationed in Germany. He served as Army battalion, was discharged with the rank of private in 1980. His career was marred by multifaceted disciplinarian problems.
So what we're dealing with is a man who doesn't handle discipline well.
He doesn't handle things well, and he's in the Army.
He's told, no, that isn't enough.
You know what? You're not good at this stuff, but you should get to know tanks.
Listen, now that we've told you how to operate tanks, get out of here and go back to regular society. You understand me, man?
All right, so he leaves the Army and he gets a job on a fishing boat in Panama.
Oh, whoa.
This shit happens.
Yeah, how does that happen?
I mean, I guess he goes back to San Diego, and San Diego is like... Okay, so at that time, San Diego, things aren't going well.
Right, okay.
Everything's fucking shutting down, and the plants are shutting down and moving elsewhere, and then the Cold War has ended.
Right.
So
we tore down that wall.
All of the money we were spending on fake... stuff to fight the fake people, no real people. To fight their fake stuff is all being shut down.
Okay, gotcha. So the only thing that remains are the real issues.
Right. And I wish my thing hadn't just gone off.
There we go.
Right. So he goes there, and then he comes back from Panama, and he starts a plumbing company.
So far, very bizarre.
This is all shit that guys do who just don't know what to do.
True.
Yeah. No one is like, man, I want to be a plumber.
Boy,
I just want to work in shit.
I just
dirty pipes.
I just want people to come to me with their enormous shit problems.
That's exactly it. So he got a good reputation. And he had a good plumbing company, so things are going fine.
All right.
Claremont.
Fine is a relative term.
Well, Claremont has a bit of a meth problem because San Diego is one of it's like where meth came ashore in the States because, the government, the Army gave our pilots and other people meth.
Is that where it all started?
Yeah, the Japanese kamikazes were all on meth. Why do you think they were doing that? You think they were like, I love the Emperor? They were like, I'm going to fly into this thing and then I'm going to go home.
That's what I've been led to believe. It was really just they couldn't itch their whole bodies at once. Fuck it!
Yeah, so dudes who were like on long bombing runs, they'd be like, you know what, you need to stay awake for your
you need a little
36
vitamin
hour.
M.
Yeah, take a little bit of that right there.
There you go. Now why don't you fly that plane into that boat? How's that sound? Pretty good, right?
So all those people coming back from World War II, brought back meth, and then San Diego was like any military logistical place was where meth hit ground and just took root. So
funny how we don't talk about that enough.
No, it is strange, isn't it?
Yeah.
So the economy is collapsing because of the end of the Cold War.
Right.
So then meth just takes off in this place, and it's where all the like tiny houses are, like the 1950s houses that aren't that big,
right?
That people who have money don't want to live in. So he's in one of those communities. Just kind of Claremont takes root.
Okay.
Fucking sweet meth.
Yeah.
So
Now he's dabbling in meth.
He is definitely dabbling in meth.
He's enjoying the meth.
So to the point that his brother says that he in like 89, 88 is now addicted to meth.
I thought his brother was gonna say, I swear he might steal a tank. He's doing so much meth. I feel like he just might take a fucking tank. I don't know.
In 1990, he has a motorcycle accident.
All right.
Which I assume has to do with the meth.
I think it's fair to think that meth's involved.
I feel like motorcycles and meths, it's a bad combo.
Let me ask you this.
Yes.
Did he drive his motorcycle into a boat? Then it's meth.
So he's hospitalized for neck and back injuries, and he gets into a fight with a security guard in the emergency room.
Well, those guards are full of shit. I mean, who hasn't been in a position where you want to kick one of their asses?
Because he was saying that they were forcing him to get treated without his consent, which is classic meth. I'm fine, sir. Your spine is sticking out of your side. I am fine.
Sir.
Going home.
Sir.
Going home.
You're dragging your spine like a tail, sir. Sir.
So he sued. He ended up suing the hospital for $1.6 million.
A good number too for the amount of damage that caused to him.
Right.
Yeah. That emotional stress is not easy.
It's fucking hard.
It's tough.
He cited negligence, assault, battery, and false imprisonment.
Well,
I love false imprisonment.
False imprisonment is like, buddy, it's a hospital. That's kind of the fucking ruse. That's the rub here. They're like, stay.
If everybody woke up from a hospital and after an accident was like, I'm suing you.
Yeah, or just was like, I want to leave.
How dare you keep me here?
Well, unfortunately, his brain's half out, but we got to let him roll. Give him his keys, Charlie.
The case was dismissed.
On what grounds?
And the hospital countersued for $6,600 in medical fees.
A reasonable number.
Okay, you're $1.6 million. Yeah, that's gone. But we just want the $6,000. Is that?
Well, I'm suing you for $600,000.
So his wife files for divorce in 1990, which a year later, which is a bummer.
That's a bummer.
But marriage is hard.
It's a lot harder.
It's hard just in general.
Yeah.
But when someone's on meth,
yes,
it's more difficult.
Well, and fighting people and saying I'm going to sue this hospital.
All
for
this
$2
stuff.
million.
And if you're trying to talk, you're like, look, I think there's some problems with our marriage. Let's maybe go to a counselor and talk about stuff. And the other guy's like, well, there's microphones and the beef in the freezer. Like it's hard to have that conversation, which is something that happened to my sister. She had this girl that we grew up with. She moved in with her when they were in college and came home one day, and the girl had taken all of their meat out of the freezer, and it had been, and my sister had stayed over at her boyfriend. So she came home and this meat had been on the floor for 2 days, and it's just rotten. And she's like, what are you doing? She goes, looking for the microphones.
It's always the microphone. It really is. My cousin.
Really?
Yeah. Always
microphones?
Microphones. The holes in the wall.
Yeah, holes in the wall. That's what she did. She put holes in the wall.
We might need to get some patch for these walls. And you know what? They're not really finding the microphones. It always baffles me what would happen
if they did find one.
If they found a fucking microphone.
Oh, fuck me.
That's a movie.
All the NSA stuff now can just blow their mind. Oh, by the way, they can turn on your phones and listen to you. Yeah, that's actually real.
But the problem is it's not this tangible wire in a wall.
Right, it's just their phone.
It's just the phone. Such a fucker.
All right, so sadly, both of his parents died of cancer in 1992.
Oh boy, so
he got a triple hit. He gets his wife divorced him.
Yeah,
he's in pain from the all the stuff, and then his parents go. He's got one brother left. That's it. So he's just hanging with the one bro.
Oh, boy.
His next door neighbor, Karen, is a dabbler in meth.
Oh, she's a dabbler, is she?
Yeah. And she had one of these houses where people would get out of jail, and then they would all go to her house.
It's like a quarter-way house.
To me. But it wasn't like a place where to rehab. It was a place to find a guy who has a gun.
Redo.
It was the kind of place that you go to if you're hey, I want to go right back to jail.
Yeah.
How is the quickest way to do that? Go to Karen's, get something, and then leave. So she had the house where all the criminals went, right?
Yeah.
So he's next door, so he's getting more and more into sweet, sweet meth.
Ugh, that's a horrible circumstance for him to just be next door.
You know what? But it's convenience.
It is if you want to keep doing meth, which you shouldn't want.
You shouldn't want to do,
but it's fun.
Interestingly enough, Karen got her house when her mom died, and her mom was a hoarder. And so the reason Karen started doing meth was to
clean.
Shut
up, really?
I swear to God.
Oh my God, I was doing a bit.
No, she did it to clean. Everybody starts doing meth to like, man, I got this plumbing job. I can do it 20 hours. And I just like everyone's got a reason.
That's
like
the bottom line.
You know what, there's a big bowling tournament coming up. I just gotta, I hit some strikes. You know what? I gotta work on my car.
You know what? I'm gonna go fly a plane into a boat. So I've just been working on that a lot.
So sometimes she would see Sean and his friends wrestle in the backyard.
I'm sorry?
I said sometimes. Sometimes she would see Sean and his friends wrestle in the backyard, and sometimes they'd be so plowed that they would wrestle and then they'd wake up in
mid-combat.
Well, they would would look like two guys fell asleep cuddling in the backyard. Like it would be like. She said she would go over there and it'd be like two dudes wrapped around each other because they're
tuckered out. They put themselves in meth Nelsons.
This is when I was like, I know so little about meth that it's insane.
Yeah,
okay,
I don't know enough about meth.
So this is his buddy Chris, who this happened during one of the wrestling sessions.
He wanted to take me out in the backyard and prove that he was the man he was supposed to be, and we got into a physical wrestling match, and I ended up breaking his back.
He's out in the backyard.
Say back?
Another comment. So the kids called 911?
I heard something crunch, and I let go of him. He laid right in the ground, and told him I should call the paramedic, and he told me to get out of there. And my neighbor his neighbor Karen came over and took care of it.
Took care? I'm sorry. You know what just was said completely. I just need to go over a couple of things.
Yeah, go ahead.
He said broke his back, right?
So they were wrestling. There's like a couple of guys wrestling on meth.
Yeah.
And then one guy broke the other guy's back.
So then a guy's back's broken.
Yeah.
Terrible
so he's
news.
laying there.
Yeah.
And then basically that guy took off.
The guy who broke the back?
Yeah. And then Karen saw Sean just laying there because he couldn't get up because his back was broken.
Right.
And then she came over and called 911.
Oh my God. All right.
And at this point, I'm like, maybe Obamacare isn't such a good idea.
Maybe what we need to do here is just look. It's going to happen anyway. Can we just film it and put it on TV? Because meth wrestling.
Oh my God, meth wrestling.
I know bum fights bum fights to me feels morally
staged and weird.
Yeah, that is worse.
But meth wrestling.
But this is people who just like to wrestle. Yeah. They love meth.
And apparently do it really hard.
Why not just give them a little bit of booty to go home with at the end of it if they win?
Yeah, I'm totally on your side. And then Karen comes in. She's the card girl and the cleanup girl, I guess.
Yeah, sure.
And she calls 911.
A lot of teeth on those mats. A lot of teeth are going to be falling out in the meth wrestling league. The bell will ring and two teeth will just drop out of a guy's mouth.
I got to admit, other than my sister's friend, I know so little about meth. So when I started reading the story, I was like, this is fucking insane. Because what they do while they're on meth is crazy. It's not just like
hangouts,
like heroin. You do heroin and then you lay around until you
float
until you can find more heroin.
Yeah.
Okay. So he continued with his meth addiction. I guess he healed from the broken back, and he was still a plumber. He's still working as a plumber, right? So then he decides to get into gold.
Not a methy decision.
No. Okay. Now, when I say go into gold,
you mean jump into a big pool of coins like Scrooge McDuck?
That's so much better. I'm saying that he found a piece of gold in his backyard.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
And then he decided that was the best place to mine for it.
Oh, man. That's like what you do when you're 11. Right? You're like in the yard. You're like, I bet there's all this gold. And your mom's like, I got to resod this.
Not anymore. I'm making a mine.
Not anymore. Eureka, mama.
So he digs a 17-foot hole.
Oh boy! Oh boy! Oh boy! I mean, that's big. That's a big hole.
It is a big hole.
That's
isn't
a big
it?
hole.
It's a really big hole. So, so it's like a reel. Okay, he's got sub pumps. And he's using chemicals to find the gold, like you.
I'm sure he's drinking some of those chemicals every now and then. Some for the doctor.
As you're supposed to do. He made a sluice.
What, a Dr. Seuss character?
Do you know what a sluice is?
Yeah, the sluice with the news. No.
All right, so let me explain mining to you. So there are residual, alluvial, and bench types of deposits, mineral deposits. And bench is when it reaches the stream, and then you see all the miners getting it out of the stream.
All right.
Alluvial is when the gold's been washed away, so it's like been broken away from the load, and then you sift through and you try to find it.
Sure.
And then bench
is when you're on meth.
Is where it's the mother load, right?
Okay.
So we're betting that he thought he had a bench.
Okay, so he thinks he has the bench. I just wanted to make sure it was not.
He thinks he's got the big one. When the guy yells, "It's the mother load!"
Yeah.
That's what he's got. So he made a sluice box, which is the thing that it's got like little sort of ruffles on the bottom to separate the gold from the dirt or the other little rocks that you see in old mining movies or whatever.
Yeah.
It traps because the gold particles are heavier, so it traps them as the water washes over it. It's the kind of thing you use when you're shoveling gold out of a mine.
All right.
Right? So he turned his jacuzzi into a sluice.
Oh no! White Trash Hall of Fame. You're on notice. I turned my jacuzzi into a gold searching machine. Oh, wow.
Go ahead and turn on the bubbles. Turn on the jets.
Hey, we can still take a dip in it.
I bet he was.
Oh, yeah. Smoking meth in, muddy jacuzzi, bubbling.
Fucking in there.
Fucking in there, yeah.
Hold on, is that gold? No, that's your clit.
So, yeah.
God damn it.
I would love to have a look at it. This guy needs his own museum.
Well, I mean, it seems like a weird idea unless you're tweaking, and then it seems a perfect idea. It all makes sense.
No, it's a eureka. At some point, he shouted, "The jacuzzi!" Alone.
So tweaking is not something that you do alone.
Tweaking isn't?
Yeah, it's apparently...
you have to have a partner.
Well, you like to bring in people to stuff. Usually you invite people over and you all tweak together or whatever.
Sure, you do.
Since Claremont is a really depressed place and there's all these people around,
a lot of
it's perfect for inviting friends over.
Yep, for a good tweak.
So
I feel like something's about to happen.
No, I mean I don't want to say that. Well, we went forward on the thing. Okay, so so he starts inviting people over and to help with the mine.
So
because okay, go ahead.
Let me stop you right there, if I may, Dave. So he's inviting other meth addicts who undoubtedly need money to help him find the gold in his backyard under what we'll call the honor system.
I think that's about right.
Okay, so it's just one of those. Hey, I trust you, man.
Well, it looks like a real mine. It isn't like a fucking hole in the ground. He has
no. It's huge.
If you look down it, the sides are well crafted. There's either metal or wood on the sides. There's a pulley. To pull up the stuff. It looks like a professional mine because I think that's what tweakers do. I don't think they're like, I'm just gonna dig a hole.
Yeah,
they're fucking worker bees. So
right.
and he's got skills, right? As a plumber, he built shit.
Yeah.
So he is actually
created a mine.
Because when I kept hearing hole and then I saw pictures of it, I was like, well, that's a fucking
real dealer.
That's a fucking mine.
His neighbors. Jesus Christ. Day one, they're like, this will end soon. Eventually, like, what the fuck is going on over there? Does he have a team?
Okay. So first the tweakers came over because he was like, hey, man, you can get in on the gold with me. and then we'll all have a bunch of gold at the end, and then it's going to be fucking great. It's going to be fucking great, and then we'll buy a boat. Like, which is weird already, because if I find gold in my backyard, I don't tell anyone.
Nobody.
No.
No, I swear to God, nobody. I mean, maybe like your dad.
Yeah.
Or your brother.
Yeah.
But you're not going like, come on to the great gold rush on Maple Street.
Share a mine.
Yeah.
Come on down to Claremont.
No.
Get in on the community mine.
No, gold is a caveman.
Okay, so
I'm not telling anyone.
Here's the hitch. To come and work in the mine, you got to bring some meth.
Ooh, interesting wrinkle. I like.
So people are bringing meth, and then they're getting high and digging in the mine together.
He should just have never even worried about gold. Just set up the system where people just bring you meth to go dig. Hey, bring me some meth. You can go look for gold in my yard, but there doesn't need to be the gold. That's the red herring. Oh, there's that meth. All right, cool, man. Let's take a rip, and then you can go dig up my yard. Let me know when you find the gold. Tell your friends. Come over. We're having a digging camp. Meth, though. Meth has to be brought.
Oh, fuck. He was also... So now he's also still working a little bit. As a plumber.
That's what you want to hear.
As a plumber. And a neighbor said he installed a hot water heater for me and talked about mineral rights. I'm going to say that again. He installed a hot water heater for me and talked about mineral rights. He was going to sell his house for $1 million because he had all this gold and oil in his yard. Now, I don't know where the oil part came from.
Yeah.
I haven't heard anything about oil.
It's insinuated.
I thought he was a little odd, a little kooky, but he was a nice man, and he gave me a nice price.
Oh, God. While he's down there like, yeah, you know what you got to do? You got to dig up your yard.
I think there might be silver.
There's probably gold in there, and if there is, there's oil. It's a given. They're brothers.
They are totally brothers.
They're brothers. They live together. In your gem yard.
Okay, so he was also, at the same time, teaching the tweakers to be plumbers.
Oh, my God. So now they have carpentry skills.
So other people were bringing him meth, and if they got him high, then he would teach them how to be plumbers. I mean, can you imagine how fucking great this house was?
Just next door. Next door would I'd have a fucking
clang,
binoculars.
Clang.
Yeah,
you don't know what is the noise coming from, the mine or the sink?
Yeah, or teeth getting just chipped out. What the fuck is it? I think they're smoking meth and digging again, hon.
So a tweaker would generally stay for 3 weeks or a month before they realized the mine wasn't going to lead to anything and that they weren't going to become plumbers. And then they move on, and then more tweakers would come. It was just
then they go to their next pyramid scheme, too.
I saw a couple of news reports, and both guys were like, I've known him for like 3 weeks. Like it was... But you live here? Yeah, I live here, but I've known him about 3 weeks. And then tragedy strikes. Someone stole all of Sean's plumbing tools.
Jesus.
Now, I don't know who would do that.
Well, it couldn't have been one of the tweakers. They have the honor system.
Right. Who in this world would steal the plumbing tools?
Not the tweakers.
No. So...
that must have been a rough day to be like one of your first days there when the tools got stolen.
Oh, my God.
Does this always happen?
Why are we using a fork? His neighbors, if you can believe this, filed the noise complaint with police.
Why? Because he built a mine? Jesus Christ, have some respect. He built a tweaker mine.
And Sean filed a complaint against the police for harassment.
Right? I would love to know if there was a price tag on it.
Right? Okay, so in February of 1995, he filed a notice informing the county of his plans to mine bedrock in his backyard.
Okay.
So he was basically staking a claim with the city. And the city was like, yeah, you don't need to do that. You own that. That's what a claim is. And so we don't do that. And you can just go dig in your backyard. And Sean was like, you take my fucking claim. Like, he was super mad.
Okay. Sure.
That they refused to accept his claim. And the city was going, yeah, it's not a thing.
It's 1995. can just go do it, man.
People can make pools and stuff. Like it's your backyard. It's totally. You just go have at her.
Accept the claim.
No, it's your.
Let me talk to the sheriff. I want to fight him for his badge, like we do.
Okay, there's no. Sure, we have police.
I'll have to talk to the sheriff, and I'll meet him in the town square at high noon.
None of this is a thing.
We will shoot each other.
Okay, so now that's February. Between February and May is when shit gets really dark for Sean.
It feels like we're headed that way.
So Karen said he was really desperate to prove that the mine was real because his friends were starting to be like, there ain't no gold down there.
I wonder why. Do you think it's because there's no gold?
He was pulling yellow-colored rock out of the mine. Gold. He started taking gold out of the mine.
Wait. He was pulling...
He was taking gold out of the mine.
All right.
It was gold.
All right.
Now around the same time, a couple of teenage kids from the neighborhood were coming around to collect money from Sean.
Teenage kids?
Yeah.
Doesn't sound good.
Because they had been selling him, I guess on credit, scrap gold.
Wait. Wait.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Well, like the way teenagers get scrap gold.
Right. Okay.
From, like, houses or their parents.
Why is he buying it?
Well, that's interesting. That's an interesting question.
Why is this man with all this real gold buying scrap gold, Dave?
So he was taking the scrap gold and melting it and putting it in the mine.
Oh, dear. Oh, boy. And the web gets sticky.
Because he wanted to convince more Twiggers to come over.
It's a dig.
And his friends, he wanted to convince it was real.
This now feels like the methiest plan ever.
It makes so little sense.
It's like...
You could just take the gold.
Yeah.
Why don't you just go steal from a house?
Yeah.
Why are you doing this elaborate mine? That makes
just
no
be like,
sense.
The mine sucks.
All the money and time you're spending on the mine, you could just cut out the middle mine and go and get the meth.
Why the fake gold? Why the fake gold makes it all crazier?
So great that at no point did he stop and go, wait a minute, there's an easier way to get meth.
Yeah. I'll just take all this time, money, and resource searching, and I'll just put that towards getting meth. And so he's like, no, I need to buy gold for the mine I dug. What? You trust me. That way the tweakers will dig for the real gold. Wait, what?
Oh, God, I just love their teenage kids like, yeah, okay, man, we'll help you out.
Yeah.
You look like a guy we could do this on credit with.
Yeah. Hey, man, where's our $600 for all the fake gold?
It's in the mine. You want to dig for it?
No, I know. We know the deal. We know the deal, asshole. You guys can dig if you... All right, cool, we'll do it. No, wait a minute. Hold on. No.
I fell for this before.
Yeah, I dug here for 3 weeks once.
Oh, Jesus. So Sean, at this time, noticed that helicopters were chasing him.
Oh, boy.
And he knew it was because the government was trying to get the mineral rights to his property.
Well, the government knows they've got...
They wouldn't take the claim, would they?
Well,
they wouldn't take the fucking claim.
And this is why.
Yeah.
They know it's a hot spot.
And even though they know where he lives, they're going to follow him around town in helicopters.
Obviously. Yep.
Because they're going to see where he's going.
To make sure that he still has the hole in his yard. Just trust us. Everyone's on meth. Everybody.
Okay. So now it's April.
It's not a good month.
9 months into the mine. And no actual gold to show.
Lots of scrap gold.
He also hasn't paid his mortgage in 9 months.
I wonder why. Why do you think that is? Oh, wait, 9 months. Let me do the math here. I think the mine might be taking away from the mortgage.
A little bit?
A little bit, yeah.
His utilities are shut off. He has no more plumbing tools to do any work with.
So he can't run his jacuzzi gold finder?
Yeah, right. He has no power, no water, nothing. He's just a guy with a hole in the ground. And at this point, his friends were like, dude, enough with the hole. We get it. We're totally tweakers too. But even for us, this seems weird.
Look, nobody's dug in that mine more than me, man.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, I think it's time to stop the mind dream.
So, in April, he went down into the mine, and he saw God.
Oh, okay. Now this makes sense.
And there was a pyramid.
Okay. Oh, boy.
And in the pyramid, there was a dragon.
Okay, sure.
So
he quit meth at this point.
Yeah, he had finished with meth.
Okay, I just want to make sure meth's not involved in any of this. Okay.
And he and his friend Chuck were supposed to fight the dragon.
Chuck, right.
Have I told you about Chuck?
I don't think I've heard specifically about Chuck.
Okay, so Chuck is like the only guy who is now hanging in there.
He still sees the dream.
Well, I think that Chuck and Sean sort of see things on the same level.
Yeah.
So here's Chuck.
Oh, I'm excited.
I'll say between 80 and 84, there was a news article that came out in San Diego Union about a machine that a bunch of people, apartment owners down in Bay Park, and a group in Las Vegas, they all got together and bought this machine, one of a kind. And basically what it is, it's I don't know how it works, but it's got this sphere that has all these points that pulse laser. You know, you can optical digital technology. Okay, you know what subliminal is, right? Okay, this particular optical digital technology is very capable of producing the same kind of thing. It's being pulsed on a laser, but your mind, your subconscious is digital. It picks it up, so it can literally be programming you subliminally. And you can, right. One day you wake up and all of a sudden your morals that used to be over here, and you don't even know it, that they've changed. It's been a gradual thing. I read that in the library. That kind of spooked me. Sean,
I read that in the library. He read that in the library. Just so you're wondering where he came up with that idea? Because he's clearly not on drugs. He read it in the library. In the digital laser section.
There are so many great things that were just said. Can I give you my two favorite?
Yep.
A sphere with points.
Uh-huh. Wait, do you mean a triangle?
No, I mean a sphere with points.
Okay.
And when you're in the middle of a conversation of this nature, for the question, you know what subliminal is? To be asked is crazy. You're talking about a ball of light that shoots lasers that there's only one of. You know what turkey is? Okay, cool. Let's keep going.
Okay, because that's going to come around. You'll see. I'm going to wrap that around.
That's basically just I want to make sure that you're a human who's grown up. You know what subliminal is? All right, good. Holy shit.
So Sean
So
is
he gets it.
Well, Sean is having these, I'm going to call them paranoid delusions.
I'm going to call them visions of a visionary.
So he is having these delusions of helicopters following him and stuff, and Chuck is there to say, hey, man, there's this machine that some apartment owners bought. That's my favorite thing in the whole thing. By the way, who bought this machine? Bunch of guy who owns buildings.
My landlord.
Landlords.
It'll help him rent unused units.
So Chuck goes around for all the government stuff and the weird stuff, and he
not
said,
a good friendship.
No, this guy is not the best guy to be hanging with.
It's not a good influence.
Nope. So he said that at times Sean would be on one side of town and he'd hear people talking about something. And then he'd go to the other side of town and different people would be talking about the same thing.
Like a sporting event.
At first, he thought it was a coincidence, but it kept happening and happening. So it wasn't a coincidence.
No.
Was it?
No.
It was what is known as news.
You believe that Bloomberg, huh? Yeah, I know, the worst. You believe that Bloomberg? Oh, my God.
No, the Bloombergs are following me.
I know, I can't believe the Chargers missed that field goal.
Chuck is having similar things to happen to him.
Oh, boy.
Okay.
weird stuff. That's when this gal was introducing me to all these people, and they were showing me some weird shit. And when I told them I wouldn't, basically they realized I wasn't going to join them. I started hallucinations and shit. I mean, right in front of people. I'd see something and I wouldn't even, I'd look at it and just look away. And somebody would make a big deal out of it. What do you see? What do you mean, what do I see? What? And they're like, well, you're looking over there. What is it? Joe, you didn't give me drugs. You know? Trying to make me think I was cracking up, okay? They tried real hard. At one point, yeah, I really did. At one point, I really wondered if I was okay. Is this why you were using crystal? I was using crystal at the time, yes.
Was this when you were using crystal? I was using crystal at the time, yeah.
One question. I just have one follow-up.
You know what subliminal is?
Okay.
I mean,
right?
Yeah, not good.
No, none of the. And
who's recording all this shit?
They did a weird documentary on this, but it wasn't like it focused on the area, not the people. It focused more on like check out this suburb. Like it was very weird.
A place to not move. Yeah. A city you don't want to be in.
So
they sound good.
They sound good together, right?
I don't feel like anyone's going to take a tank.
So in April, Sean's live-in girlfriend dies of a drug overdose.
Jesus.
I mean, that's surprising.
It's surprising that he had a girlfriend.
He also filed 2 damage claims against the city for $2 million.
Oh, because they dug a mine in his yard.
One of them was for police negligence.
Okay.
I guess because his girlfriend died of drugs.
Right.
And the other one was for false arrest. I'm assuming they came in and arrested him.
Probably arrested him, which is bullshit because he's him. So that's illegal.
You can't arrest the mine digger.
You can't arrest the arrestable.
So now he has been digging for 10 months. May.
Oh, God.
And they foreclosed on his house. Which is shocking.
Yeah, shocking.
Also a problem because that's where he keeps the mine.
Yeah. And the next person who's going to look at the house is going to be like, oh, it's great. I love this closet. I'm sorry, is there a mine out back?
It's a 3-bedroom, and
great.
it comes with a sluice and a mine.
Look at that. I'm sorry, you said a sluice and a mine?
Yes.
Oh, my God. Honey, this would be great. You could turn this into your dark room. Wait a minute. What did you say, a mine?
And a sluice.
And a sluice. Yep, that hot tub is actually not a hot tub. It's what we call a sluice. It's a golden dirt divider. The previous tenant fought dragons down there and talked to God.
All at no extra charge.
No extra charge. God lives down there, so does the dragon. You'll fight him with your friend Chuck, but that's all included.
So they foreclosed on his home. At dusk on May 18th, 1995, Sean got into a Chevy van with his personalized license plates that said,
come on,
KANFIX.
What?
Can fix. And he drove to the Armory in Claremont on the north side of San Diego.
Can fix.
He was shirtless.
Who's got time for a shirt?
He drove onto the Armory.
Just like that?
This is right after Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
Oklahoma City happened that summer, right? So
yeah.
They had no security in place.
Good.
He
Smart.
just drove right on, and his credentials weren't checked. Mm-hmm. They weren't even required. He just gave a wave, I assume.
With no shirt. Morning.
And he drove over to the tanks and just started trying to get into tanks.
Jesus Christ.
So the tanks are padlocked.
What, I mean, can you imagine where you need to be like, I'm going to go take a fucking tank.
Then you just drive over.
You just drive and do it. Imagine.
America.
I mean, why are we hating?
Oh, God.
He just.
So he broke.
I think I'm going to go steal a tank.
Hey. So he broke into 2 tanks, but he couldn't start them. Okay, so here's the scene.
Because they were stick.
There's a shirtless guy in sweatpants and tennis shoes trying to start tanks, and nobody notices. Nobody is like, well, that's weird.
It's one of those things that perhaps was so crazy looking that they were like, has to be legit. He's got to be a tank man or something.
I wish that was true, but it turns out that everyone is off the clock at 5 and 6 p.m., so they had all gone home. There was no one there.
Oh, God.
So
Smart.
the third tank works.
The third one's a charm.
He fires it up and rumbles over the chain link fence and drives out with a 60-ton tank.
A man on meth
And he's
who's
off.
talked to God is now driving a tank.
Okay, so no, you ask what he's doing, right?
What is he doing, David?
That's an interesting question.
It's one that came from the heart.
Satellites. He said something about one of these days, Chuck, I'm going to take a tank and I'm going to drive it, park it on the city's hall on the steps, and demand live TV so I can tell my statement.
So that's Chuck. So he's going to drive to City Hall in his tank, and then he's going to demand to be able to make a statement. I have a statement to make. What is your statement? First of all, claims should be given in this city.
All right, take him out. Now, I know that you're all thinking, why should we listen to this guy with 2 teeth and no shirt and a tank that he stole?
My second point is you should be able to wrestle with a broken back.
Point number 3, God is awesome. Dragons are dicks.
Point 4, spheres with points are subliminally giving us morals.
Do you know what subliminal is?
Okay, the tank's weapons, a 105 millimeter cannon, a 1.27 millimeter aircraft gun, a 7.26 millimeter machine gun were not loaded. So we can be thankful that
They were not okay.
that the National Guard wasn't so stupid to just keep them laying around armed.
I really thought.
I mean, I'm amazed that they weren't.
that is amazing.
It is fucking amazing.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
You would think,
Right?
That you would think
Yes.
somebody's side work would be load the tanks, go to bed.
But the M60A3 tank can reach a speed of 45 miles an hour,
And it weighs 16 tons.
and it can travel 300 miles on a full tank, which it had. So, meaning it can crush tons of shit,
Yeah.
which is what happened. So, he's just crushing. I mean, you've seen the
Homes.
videos. He didn't crush homes. He crushed
I thought he went
cars,
through
mobile
homes.
homes. He went through a lot of mobile
yeah.
homes that were on the street. The greatest thing is when he goes over the fire hydrants, and then they
Okay.
just squirt up. But
But he also gets caught like in between a freeway.
Well,
at
that's
some
the
point,
end.
right? Yeah.
That's the end. So and while this is happening, the cops are like, "Hey, there's no way to stop a tank."
Hey, here's the thing about tanks.
Hey, I'm looking in the manual, police manual, and I'm not seeing tank.
Hey, can we shoot the tires out? How does that work? We lay down some spikes, maybe.
So they're calling the National Guard, going, "Hey, how do we stop a tank?"
Hey,
and the
guys.
National Guard's going, "I'm off the clock, bro. Got off at 6." So the police just started clearing roads. If he went onto a road, they would just try and clear it as fast as they could, so he wouldn't run over anybody in a car.
Yeah.
He rammed 40 vehicles. Attempted to hit all the police cars pursuing him. He plowed into bridges. He took out utility poles, fire hydrants, signal lights, leaving a huge power outage and traffic jams all over the
Did
city.
he kill anyone?
He did not kill anybody. He only hit one car that had a van that had a lady or kid in it, but they didn't get hurt.
Okay.
This is my favorite quote of the entire business. This is a guy who saw him.
Yeah, I could see his face. And he had a smile. He looked like he was having fun.
So his little head is out of the tank.
Yeah.
And he is just having the
smiling.
fucking time of his life. He's like, this is so much better than the mine.
He looked like he was having fun.
He finally hit. So he was trying to lose the cops, and he's on the freeway, and he wanted to go over to the other side so they couldn't follow
Well,
him.
he really wanted to make a Yui.
A Yui. He
Yeah.
wanted to flip a Yui. So he tried to go over the cement divider, but because he hit it sideways instead of going like more at a straight angle, it got stuck.
So then he's caught.
Yeah.
He can't move.
He can't move. Well, he could. Okay. So the the cops jump up with bolt cutters, and they've got a mechanic from the base with them.
I like that they're attacking a tank with bolt cutters.
I guess that's how you get in.
Yeah, they're like, all right, got the bolt cutters. Who's ready?
So he refused to surrender or relinquish controls, and a cop fired one shot. Well, I can tell you this. So I read this on a website where a guy said, I used to work with the guy. So when the tank is stopped, 2 cops jump up on top, and then there's a guy in a Hawaiian shirt alongside of him, and you're like, okay, so that's like that's a party guy, or maybe there's a guy.
I'll give him a lei when he comes out.
It's like, who's that guy? And it turns out that guy is a mechanic from the base. I guess in uniform.
Mid luau.
We're having our Hawaiian party tonight.
I gotta go. A guy stole a tank. Don't do limbo without me.
Okay, the guy in the Hawaiian shirt opening the tank hatch worked for me in '97. His name is Palmer. He was working on his personal car on his day off at the National Guard motor pool. So he has his day off, wink, wink, working on his car, stealing equipment. So the cops and MPs roll up. He's the only one there. And so he jumps in the car with them to help if he can do anything. When the tank hit the barrier, Palmer and 2 CHP officers jumped on the tank. Palmer quickly opened the emergency hatch. As soon as he opened it, one CHP officer, weapon drawn, started screaming for the guy to get his hands off the controls. Palmer says, hey, cops, I can get the guy out without you having to shoot him. It's no big deal. And he keeps saying this and tapping the cop on the shoulder, which you can see in the video, trying to get the cop to move aside so he can get in there and get the guy out. Then the guy in the tank looks up at the officer with what Palmer described as a blank, uncaring stare, and then reached back for the controls. The officer shot down, hit him in the shoulder. The bullet entered between the left collarbone and pierced his heart, and he died in seconds.
Jesus Christ. Whew.
End of meth run.
Wow, that's I can't believe that's such. That's what I hate that.
Yeah.
I do hate that because...
How great would it be if he was alive?
It would be great if he was alive. It would be great to know. Yeah. Not even for the sake of the fact that he shouldn't be killed because he didn't have to be killed, which is totally a huge part of this and happens too much. But, yeah, we could be like, walk us through it. What was it like when you were smiling?
Yeah, I know. You could talk to a guy who was just destroying a town with a tank and having a fucking great time.
And this is just a layman. This is not a man who... This is how you want... If you're ever going to drive a tank, this is really how you want it to play out. You don't want to have to go through all the fucking training and learn all the bull... You just want to go in there and fucking have a little video game.
Do it.
Yeah, just go do it.
He was seriously playing Grand Theft Auto before Grand Theft Auto came around. The state of California paid $149,000 to cover property damage. It moved all the tanks out of the National Guard armories and relocated them to Camp Roberts in San Luis Obispo and Fort Ord in Barstow.
But again, the solution would be just don't have fuel in the fucking tanks.
Well, they took batteries out. They took the batteries out of the tanks.
Okay, good. But you could do that and keep them there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The National Guard was considered negligent, which I cannot believe.
No. Why? Because they get an hour of downtime, complete downtime.
The state eventually paid damage claims to 28 individuals, companies in the city. The payout included $10,000 for Pacific Bell. I love that they paid $10,000 to the
bike is on
hey,
the telephone
our light.
lines.
Yeah, they keep knocking down light poles. Really? Another fucking adding it on the bill.
Don't you fucking turn my utilities off, fuckers. I got a tank now.
A coroner's investigator said Nelson smelled of alcohol. Sean Nelson liked rum.
Hey, listen. I called him Admiral Nelson earlier. It's a good rum.
So
yeah, of course he smelled like... I mean,
meth.
Yeah.
How? Because you had seen that a million times.
Yes.
But the story leading up to it is fucking insane.
So, don't you think in a way it is almost Like, it's almost because nobody died except for, it's almost the best way to go out.
It is the greatest way to go out because nobody died. He actually, I mean, everyone got money for their stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, you couldn't maybe take that vacation you planned in your motorhome or your car was crushed.
You got a hell of a story.
You didn't have power for a couple of days. But looking back on it, you get to say, that dude crushed our car.
And you know what happens as soon as he goes to heaven? He sees God, he sees the dragon, and they're like, we did not think you were going to fucking do it, bro. You are the man. Holy shit.
When I talked to you in that mine, I was like, no way does he pull this off.
You left, and we were like, yeah, right, we'll talk when he gets the tank. I mean, Jesus. You are the real deal, brother. You are the real fucking deal.
I guess tweaking does permanent damage, because Chuck seems like he's still there, even though he's not on drugs anymore.
Oh, yeah, totally. Oh, so you mean like you're
permanently rewires you.
Totally.
Is your cousin rewired? Is he off of it?
Well, he wasn't even meth. He was just schizophrenic. But I have other cousins or relatives who have done that. And yeah, I mean, you really are. Eventually, you're just dealing with like a language. It would be like sitting down with a Martian.
Yeah.
And you being like, yeah, my girlfriend does this. And he'd be like, oh, well, a railroad's trying to kill me. You'd be like, okay.
Okay, well
we both have things.
I'm going to go over there.
Shall we split a meal? I think we could agree on food, right? But yeah,
there's watching me? Yeah.
As he digs through his for wires.
Because then he might not be because it would be great. He would be a great Where Are They Now
Great.
Guy. You know, and it turns out he's in a band now.
And you know what else? I mean, what I love is when people go and do like motivational speaking tours about how they turn their lives around.
Oh my God.
Can you think of a better guy than
He'd be the best.
He'd be the best. He'd be like, my rock bottom was about 15 years ago when I stole a tank and got it caught on a freeway median.
After my gold mine went bust.
By the way, I was drunk and on meth at the time and got in a dragon and told me to do it. Can you sit down? You can wait to go to the bathroom for a minute, hon.
And my speech is called Can Do.
This is why you can do anything you put your mind to. Just make sure your mind's put to something right.
Holy fuck. He's my favorite.
It's great. It really is a shame that he's dead. It's great. I mean, yeah, it's almost better this way because otherwise he would have just lived probably a wasted life.
Probably, but there's always the hope that this would have been his bottom.
Well,
right?
If not, I would love to see his bottom.
He would definitely be going to jail.
Yes.
Who knows for how long? I don't know how. I don't know if they have that. If there's a statute where they're like, so you stole. What's the sentence for stealing a tank?
What did the forefathers say about tank theft? Do we have that anywhere? Also, when you're in jail, hard to find a crew.
Hard to find a crew.
You know?
Really?
That's the Aryans. That's the Blank Panther Brotherhood. Those guys are the molesters. Where do the tank people sit? Is there a table of tank folk?
There's just one guy chomping on a cigar. Over here.
I fucked a tank. That'll do. That one will do.
That's my boy.
That's my guy right there.
All right.
Well, yeah, good.
Oh, boy.